Hello, it's Ava and welcome back to my channel. It has been so long. So we are gonna catch up and talk all things being 23, having a business and my goals. I think it's been almost 6 months since I did a video. It's probably been 6 months since I used my camera, so yeah, it's been crazy. I've had a lot on, which I'll go into a little bit more, but I think it's time to bring back the YouTube videos. These videos have never got thousands and thousands of views, but I think it's really nice to do something like this. I think the world is so fast paced. Everyone's looking for the next thing all the time, and I'm guilty of it as well. Like, you sit on TikTok, you sit on Instagram, you scroll through, and I think for me, being able to put my time and my energy and my effort into something that's a little bit more personal, but that's a little bit more long form, and I'm able to actually get my personality across, I'm actually able to kind of speak to people and not feel the need to get, like, you know, all some information into a minute's worth of video for someone to never even look at it. I think, yeah, this is why YouTube's come back up for me. I think it's time to just really put my energy into something else other than Instagram. For myself as well, like, I've had a journey and a half, and I know so many other people have as well, and I think being able to talk about that often helps me, but also helps other people. And if I can help even one more person on their journey of fitness, wellness, mental health, everything, or literally just being 23 in 2024, then that is a success for me, and I'm happy with that. So yeah. So since we last spoke, I have started my own business. Okay, round of applause. Yeah, what a roller coaster that has been, and I'm gonna go into being 23 and being a business owner in a bit, but that's kind of the major reason why I haven't necessarily been able to do YouTube, is because I was pouring my time into kind of making the decision about whether to start a business, starting a business, getting it up and running, getting off the ground, and ultimately trying to keep it going. And it's probably been the hardest thing I've ever done. I've experienced some wild things in my life, but I think for me this has been, and still is, one of the biggest roller coasters emotionally, mentally, and just kind of like the biggest thing I've ever been through in terms of growing as a person. I have never ever imagined it being as hard as it was. Not the actual business side of things, like, I struggle with that, it's new to me, it's different, but the hardest thing for me is actually the crippling self-doubt, which I will go into. It's something I've always struggled with, it's something I've always worried, like, been kind of one of these people that struggle with self-confidence. But when I tell you, it is terrible, like, having your own business, when you struggle with your confidence, when you struggle with self-doubt, I'm talking horrible, because every move, every step, every next, like, decision is all on you. No one else is there to help you, and yeah, knowing whether that's the right thing all the time is really, really hard. Also, not taking certain things personally as well, which I find really difficult. So, like, if a client doesn't sign up, is that my fault? Have I done something wrong? Have I said the wrong thing? Have I offended them? That right there, that's all that happens in here. It's literally crazy. But yeah, that's probably why, or that is definitely why, I have been a little bit quiet on YouTube, and just generally, really. It's taken a lot, it's amazing, but it's been hard work. So, in terms of what I've been up to, obviously the business, and I haven't actually mentioned, it's called AXB Achieve and Build. I decided on the name because I basically wanted the name to encompass like growth and achieving good stuff, and also being able to step forwards, and not always, I think people often see like a fitness journey or a wellness journey as having, you have to take away from something, you have to change something, and actually I wanted to kind of see obviously one, like it's built around strength training, but two, being able to build and being able to add rather than take away, I think is so important. And then obviously, well, not obviously, if you don't know, my name is Ava Balka, so it's my initials with obviously the X in the middle. So yeah, that is kind of why the name came about. So in terms of what else I've been up to, obviously last year I did a lot of travelling. I did 14 different countries, or different cities, sorry. I did Milan and somewhere else in Italy, which are obviously the same places. Where else did I go in Italy? Rome. So obviously we can't say 14 different cities, sort of 14 different countries, but 14 different cities. So that was super busy. That was amazing for my mental health, but also self-discovery, just like being more confident, learning more about myself. So yeah, towards the end of last year I finished that. This year I've literally been focusing on my business for one. I've been doing a lot of work, like I still have a job outside of work. I work for a fitness wear brand, so I do a lot of, like, spend a lot of time doing that. And then honestly, I've been literally spending a lot of time outdoors. Me and Alex have spent a lot of time together, either on like weekends away, weekends with the family, just doing things, exploring, being present, especially when my whole life revolves around social media, and being on my phone or on my laptop. I'm not saying I'm an influencer or anything like that. I'm just saying marketing for me comes from social media, which means I have to be quite active on it. So taking that time away from my phone and from my laptop has been so important, and it's still now, like, it causes me severe anxiety to not be like on Instagram and stuff, but I think it's a major learning curve and it's a major turning point for me in the sense that I'm able to, I think obviously having Alex and being able to put my energy into our relationship is really, really important for me, because I don't feel the need to just sit in front of my laptop. I know, because what I would do if it was just me, I wouldn't go outside as much, I wouldn't do those things that I enjoy, because I feel like, well, I could be doing this, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. But actually being able to focus a lot more on someone else and our relationship as well has been really helpful. Being a 23-year-old in 2024, which is wild to say the least. Right, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about my business and what it actually is. AXB is a female-only online coaching business, and there's a reason why I'm saying this, because I think it allows you to know more about me and delve deep into why I did this. So I've been an online coach for 2.5 years, probably coming up to 3 years now, and I absolutely used to love it, still absolutely love it, but I used to do it under someone else, and I decided to step away because I felt so drawn to women who had either been victims of diet culture, had struggled with disordered eating, who had a really low self-confidence, really low self-esteem, and I felt like I wasn't able to kind of capture that audience with the brand I was previously working for. I really think now it's so important for me, as an individual, knowing my experience, knowing what I've been through, to be able to actually say, like, no, you know, there's other people that will probably have been through a similar situation to me, there's probably other people who have had worse, so why not try and help those people when I can use my experience? And I was lucky and fortunate enough to be able to get out of that situation, so being able to kind of give back to others is really important to me. So that's why I started AXB. It's designed for women of all ages, of all fitness abilities, literally anyone, to be able to feel their best, and to literally achieve and build, and by that I mean achieve their goals, achieve their key mindset, build a routine that they can love, build a body they love, build confidence, build a lifestyle for themselves, literally build everything they possibly are capable of and more, hence the name. For me, it's been a massive learning curve for myself, knowing that I know what I want now and I know how I want to help, and so being able to do that I think is so important, and knowing how to do that. It's still hard, but having so much clarity about why I'm doing what I'm doing and genuinely being able to help people, I think is literally the best feeling. So my advice to you is that if you know you want to do something, if you have a goal in mind, if you have a passion, a vision, follow it, because you have to be passionate about what you're doing. Like, life is so short. Don't just dwell, don't just sit on those things that really mean important things to you. You need to kind of bottle up everything about yourself, bottle up all your emotions, all your energy, all your experiences, because often you can help people, or often you can make a difference in some way. Just to plug myself. If you are looking for someone to help you with your fitness journey, your wellness journey, your everything journey, your mental health journey, then obviously I'm your girl. Drop me a message or a comment on this video, or you can visit the link in my bio, which will hopefully take you to my Instagram, or look me up on Instagram. I'm @_ava.fit, and then we can talk about your goals, and I would absolutely love to help you if I can. Let me just take a drink. Right, so what are my goals? Good question. Genuinely, and it might sound so cliche, I really want to be inherently happy with myself, with my business, with everything to do with my future, and I think I'm on a really good path to be able to do that, to be able to help women, and the goal for me is to just be able to expand that. And I know, for me, I know that the space is so saturated. I know that everyone has this kind of need to be better, and that's why fitness is like booming at the minute. But I think having a clear goal in mind in terms of helping more women, in the ways that I've said, not just, I don't want to get someone from A to B, I don't want them to be from size 16 to a size 14, don't get me wrong, that's a bonus, but I want someone to turn around to me and say, truly, like, I am confident, truly I fit into those jeans and I feel good, I feel happy, I feel content, and I think that is undeniably the best feeling. So my goal is definitely to just carry on with that, to continue to help other people, help that expand, but also just be happy and content in myself. Like, I spend so much time talking to other people about how they should be content with themselves, how amazing they are, and actually being able to sit back and say, actually no, look, you've done this, you built this business, which, by the way, I have not once ever thought I'm proud of myself for this, just to let you know. Being able to say, sit back and be like, Ava, you've built this business, you never thought you could do that, that's incredible. I think will be a massive achievement, and definitely a big goal for me as well. And then I want to talk about pressure. Wow, okay. So I have never ever felt pressure from anyone other than myself, besides at school, but that's just, everyone feels pressure at school, mostly. Pressure has never been something that's externally been put onto me. I've always felt it internally. I know for a fact that it's partly because I do believe in myself in some respects, and I do think I'm destined for more than just certain things, but pressure for me is a killer, and by pressure I mean the pressure for myself to succeed in my business, the pressure for myself to continue to succeed even if I've had a good week or a good month. For me, not being content with that is something that I really struggle with, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to do the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing, and actually forget to stop and think about it in the moment. I also think pressure from being in your 20s is wild. Like, I've spoken about it before in another video, but people really underestimate the pressure you feel, even if you don't recognise it, to succeed in your 20s. Like, everyone is on this completely different ends of the spectrum. You have people who are literally finishing uni, still doing their studies, they're living away, they have a student loan, which is, you know, what happens in your 20s. You have people travelling, you have people who know what to do and working in wherever they want to work at the time. You have people in a corporate job absolutely smashing it out, or buying houses, getting married, getting engaged, getting married, getting into relationships. You have people who you can compare to, and people who you are completely opposite to. And I think the age gap between 20 and 30 and what you learn in those years is absolutely huge. Like, you learn everything. I mean, I'm talking physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, you go through it all. And I think the pressure that brings is incredible. Like, I'm currently lucky enough to be living at home and saving for a house, and or saving to kind of look towards buying a house. But in my head I'm like, well, why haven't I bought a house yet? Well, because I put money into a business. Okay, right, so but why have I done that? What if my business fails? I'm going to fail, I'm never going to have any money. Like, the pressure that you have from your 20s and to succeed in some way, some people don't feel it and some people do, and it's such a confusing time. And I'd say currently it's my one biggest thing and problem is the pressure, and the pressure that I feel from myself to do well, to get myself moving, so that by 28 I can do this, by 30 I can do this, by 32 I can do this. But no one people talk about it when it happens, but no one talks about it before. No one says to you, look, in your 20s you're going to feel like all these things, you're going to want to try new things, you might want to not try new things, you just have to learn these things, you have to pick up, and it's like the biggest learning curve ever. And I think it's so challenging, genuinely. I think it's so challenging, and I think it is definitely not spoken about enough. People forget, or people don't talk or open up and aren't honest about how much they can struggle. And for me, battling the pressure that you feel from yourself, but also the social pressures of like, have you got a house yet? Have you got, are you gonna have kids? Are you gonna get married? Are you gonna change jobs? Are you gonna be in this job? That is undeniably one of the hardest things about being 23 at the minute. And also knowing how expensive things are at the minute. Like, why? I went to Boots earlier, I bought 2 deodorants and 2 creams for my face, which I have to have because I have really sensitive skin. £74. Sorry, £74 for 4 items. Tell me how I'm going to afford a house. Tell me how I'm going to afford to feed kids. How's that going to happen? But here we are. Do you see what I mean? Pressure. So the pressure to succeed is literally undeniably like crazy. Yeah. I feel like maybe people can resonate with that. Maybe people can understand where I'm coming from and feel like being in your 20s, the pressure you feel is immense. It's not easy. It's definitely not something that's spoken about enough. And not knowing how to deal with that is also really tricky, and it can really cause a downfall in your mental health, especially if you're someone who aspires to do more, if you aspire to be better, if you aspire to you're kind of destined for more. Then putting yourself under that pressure with also all the external social pressures is really, really tricky. If you feel like that in a minute, if you feel like you're a bit all over the place, you have no idea what you're doing, why you're doing it, same. Enjoying the journey is so important, and a lot of people have told me recently to start enjoying the journey, because you'll look back and you'll regret not being present in the moment and always looking for the next thing, as opposed to thinking about what's happening right now and staying in that moment and staying present. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's my tip to you, and it's my tip to myself. So I think that is it for today's episode or video. I don't want to talk too much, and I don't want to go into too much detail about things. I think it's so important to be able to open up about things I've spoken about, like not in much detail, but the pressures of your 20s, and like also why I started my business, I think is something that people overlook, and I wanted to go into more detail about it because I think it is so important for me. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, or if you want to suggest any videos or get in touch, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message on Instagram. Like I said, it's _ava.fit, and my business account is axb_coaching as well. So if you do have any inquiries or queries about coaching, let me know, drop me a message, and we can definitely get you started. Have a lovely rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. It's currently absolutely tipping it down with rain outside, so hopefully the weather brightens up and hopefully it's nicer where you're watching right now. And if you like this video, please do subscribe and like. It is super helpful for me. I'll see you all soon.